Hi everybody. I was sitting here working on another piece to go in my book. Um, Yesterday I got my book lined. You may have seen the video there. I put this one piece already on a page. On the other side, I finished this piece. And I have it just stitched on there. The only way I've got it attached was by putting these 4 buttons. And that's what holds this whole piece on, which I had put, well, since I did the video, I put this blue border around because I had put this blue piece in the flower. See, these are the flower stems here, and then I had made the flowers, and then I put that blue piece in. Well, then I got thinking, well, the blue seems like it almost didn't belong there, and so then I put this blue border, which all I did was put, I just all I did was put the I tore some strips of fabric and then folded it in half and then just hand stitched all the way around just to put on kind of a border, and then just with a little bit of a running stitch I wrote, well, this here I used my ink little letters and I wrote peace on that piece of fabric, and then just with thread I put that around. But I want people to see how simple it is to come up with something, and you don't, and not worry about coming up with something that is so complicated that you look at it and you say, oh, I can never do that. You can do things that are just not complicated at all and still very, very fun to do and pretty. I say this because I've got a niece who is just starting to get into crafting. She wants to craft so bad. She's actually a part of the Daffy now foundation, and she is just getting so excited about her supplies that she's getting through Daffy. And but now my niece is she's crippled up. She's got cerebral palsy. She's got one hand that works pretty good. The other hand is very weak. She can't use it very much. She depends on others for a lot of her even daily living. But with she's doing so well with keeping up with wanting to do it. And I know there's a lot of people like she is that want to do arts and crafts. They do want to do something creative, yet they have limitation, disabilities that are keeping them from being able. But I mean, when she does the simplest thing, she was cutting out some pieces of paper and cutting them into circles, and did she glue something to it? She's gluing things to the paper, but she'll take a picture and she'll send it to me. She's so proud of what she does. And I give her all the kudos in the world because I want her to keep on and keep on and keep on. And she just keeps going. But like something like this is so simple. Now, well, I added beads. The beads might be a little bit harder to put on because I put them on one at a time. But then if you use bigger beads too, wouldn't be hard. This one is simple. It's a simple piece. Very simple. I mean, and anybody can do it. And as long as you're able to get a needle and hold it in your hand, and then of course, like my buttons I put on there, they're not matching. They're just pretty. That's what they are. And so I got those 2 pages ready, and those are attached already in my book. And I started working on another one here. Now this one's going to be a little bit more complicated for me. But I watch quite a few slow stitchers. Slow stitchers. The one thing I see a lot in slow stitching is, and in fact, I've heard even people say slow stitching is just another word for embroidery, but it's not. Slow stitching is just slow stitching. And then, you know, and it's any kind of stitching. And spirit stitching, what I call my spirit stitching, is I, because I add sewing machine things, I do use a sewing machine. So that changed, we changed the word to spirit stitching. But like here, I gathered up a piece of organza ribbon. I just had a little piece of ribbon there, and I just made a running stitch, but not straight across. I kind of like this way, and then just gathered it up, and then I sewed that on there. But then as I was sewing it on, I added a couple of little pearls too. I think that's so pretty. And this one, this here, I just took a ring, like a cafe curtain ring, and I just laid it on the fabric and then just stitched around. You can see here on the back where I just stitched around and with this ring. And then I put some French knots there, and then some beads. Lately I've been really doing the little beads. I like using the beads. And then here I cut out just a circle of felt. Just a circle of felt I cut out, and then I just stitched that on there. And then after I stitched it on, then I had this piece of like eyelash trim kind of stuff, and I just kind of, in the stitches, I just kind of wove it through the stitches. And that's all the farther I'm using a piece of linen, and then I used a little brush and some ink, distress ink, to kind of put some color in there. But I'll have so much covered up in here that, you know, the color is just going to kind of pop, because I I do mean to just get it like covered up good. And so and then I pulled out a few things. Actually, I wanted to, I guess I need to dig through some more. Oh, here's a piece. This is pretty right here. Let me turn this iron on real quick. I got my little bitty iron sitting next to me always in my wool pad, so in case I have to iron something real quick. But now I just started looking at that piece, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut this, and cut a piece of that. It's got pink in there too, but you can't hardly see the pink. But I'm going to take just a piece of this, back in this drawer of treasures, and it's kind of curled under there, so I want to press it real quick and flatten that thing out a little bit. And yeah, there we go. Now let me see, that might be much more than I want on there, and it is. So I'm gonna cut that here too, and just take that piece right there. And I think I'm gonna put that just right there. But then I pulled out a few. Gosh, I love this, and I don't have hardly any of it. And so I've been hoarding just these little tiny pieces because it is so beautiful. It's almost like feels like a burlap in a way, but it might be wool. I don't know what it is, but it's a real loose weave, and I don't know what it is, but it is so primitive looking. I love that. And so anyway, I'm going to take a piece. What I want to do here is, now this is just a piece of tea dyed or coffee dyed. I'm going to press it off a little bit. Of fabric. And let me see if I can fray it just a little bit here. And I like to layer. And so this is what I want to do here is I want to just layer. I want to use, because I have pink over here, I think I want to have some pink. I think I want to use this pink yo-yo. Can I iron that flower? I don't know. It's probably going to melt. 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 No, it didn't melt. Okay. Wait a minute. I ironed a crease right in it. There we go. Now see, and now that is, I don't know, some kind of a prima flower. Let's see if I put that right there. And maybe put this here. Well, no, I can't. I have to have that a little bit covered up. What do I have here? Oh, it feels like something bit me on my wrist. Something shouldn't be out there biting me. Okay. So I'm wondering now if I can just go. I mean, layering things is just, I love it. I just love layering things. So I think that's what I want to do, is just kind of layer that right there. And I have it kind of layered. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things just layered right there. And so, let me see if I can just pull out a, waiting for my hubster to wake up. He'll be awake in about 45 minutes because there's things I want to do in the bedroom. So I'm doing some reorganization of things. But I don't want to disturb him, but he gets up at 8. And so I'll wait till he gets up. But I have too much in this room, and I'm going to put some of the stuff that I'm not using right now. It's going to go in my bedroom because it's bedroom / storage area. Okay, so then, okay, I'm not going to think any further than this. I'm going to get a needle. Let's see. See how I just throw my needles. Wait a minute, I have one a little bit smaller than this, I think. Well, this one will work here. Put those right there. See, I have these here little leaves too. I like them. I got this piece of lace, which I love that too. That is really pretty. Very thin. Oh, here, is this the needle I wanted? Yeah, that might be the one I want right there. But I want, oh my, there's a feather. There's a feather. Can that feather go in there? Yes, it can. Look at that. That feather can go in there. Okay, now, let's see. And so I want a colored string to stitch that with? I got some lavender right there, only just that one little piece of lavender. And it's okay if that's all it ends up to be, is one piece of lavender. Maybe I'll just use this. This is like a peach color. Yeah, I think I'm going to use this. I have them little beads right there too. And this is fun. The first thing I did was put that ring on there. Then I put the Irish, no, they're not, French knots, and then put the beads. Then I put this piece of felt. Then I went over here and put this ribbon. And I put this around here. And but didn't have anything planned to do over here. So I think I always like it things better if when I just follow my spirit, whatever, just don't plan ahead. Although I got one thing planned ahead because I have found, I don't know where I put it now, but I got this one one piece of a lavender something. It's off of a like a doily or something, and it is so pretty that I thought I want to do something with that, and I think I'm going to make one of my squares that's going to be all done in lavender and purple. So that's one there that I have a little bit kind of planned ahead. Now I'm just going to put a little running stitch on here with this here thread, this embroidery thread, and basically what I'm doing on this right here is just putting it down so it's attached. And again, just a running stitch, just in and out. And again, it doesn't need to be any particular embroidery. Let me see if I can focus this. I mean, put that in zoom a little bit more. Will it? Or maybe that's as zoomed as it'll go. Yeah, I guess that's as zoomed as it'll get. And so, see, now I did another thing is I put my camera up there on a selfie stick, and I just got it laying up there. I could put it down a little lower, I guess. I keep playing with things and never do find exactly what works best. And so, but you never know. So today's Sunday. Day is beautiful. Kind of looks like what says it's 65 degrees, mostly cloudy. And so I don't know if we're going to have any rain. I'll go ask Alexa after a while. She's usually pretty accurate. Oh, Alexa. She's pretty accurate when I ask her about the weather. So I ask her. She tells me. She's more accurate than the weatherman on the television. So I just go with her. She's my weather woman. Okay, so there we go. So I'm just gonna, basically I'm getting this just tacked down with little stitches. Okay, let me get up here, put a couple of stitches on that burlappy looking stuff. That is pretty. And then you see these buttons here. I pulled out some buttons thinking that maybe what I'll do is, I can pull that one out, add some buttons to this cluster of things. And I just want, especially if you are, a lot of us we can't do a lot of stitches. I know my hands already are very, my thumbs, both thumbs right in here are very, I guess it's arthritis, I guess that's all what it is. But, and so I'm limited to the time I can spend stitching. So I have found, which is not good, which is the warm water feels good. So then if I go and wash or do some cleaning with warm water, yeah, it's terrible that would happen, but I have to stop, after I go a little while until my hands rest. And I got those gloves. I got those these isotoner things, and I'll put them on, and those help. But those really do help. But they like get in my way. My hands are big enough already, and I get in my own way with them big old hands. But now this piece here, it looks like it's sticking out too far. It looks almost like I should have something on top of that piece too. Yeah, I am going to go with something else on top of that too. So See. And see how long that stitch is right there? And it's okay if your stitches are way big or whatever, because this is like not something you're going to wear and wash and stuff. So just so long as you've got enough stitches on there just to hold it together. Oh, I like that with that 2 pieces of that up there like that. Okay, so now I'm gonna, oh, I need to see if I can, I'm gonna get one. Oh no, I'm gonna leave it like that. Everything is pretty much held down. It's not gonna fall off. So just tie this behind here. Okay, I hope y'all don't get tired of these videos of I'm just making I'm working on other stuff as well, but I'm just making these little 5x5s because they're going in my little book. So now what I want to do is, let me see, I wonder if I can, oh, I know what I'm going to, no, yeah, I'm going to get, let me see. I never know what kind of thread I want. Let me see. I'm just going to get, I'm going to get this. I'll just get this. It doesn't matter. What the heck? It's thread. Okay, so I'm going to use this. This is a little heavier thread. What it says that this is like 2 strands of embroidery floss. That's what it says the weight of that thread is. Like 2 strands. Like embroidery floss comes 6 strands usually. And this is like 2 strands. I'm going to take that, but I'm going to double it. Because here now, I want to put on, I want to go with this little cluster that I put in there. See, it's all on there. But now what I want to do is I want to put some things like here. Let me see, I picked up some buttons out of this little container that's got more than buttons in here because it's got real diamonds. And okay, so what I want to do now is I want to add some buttons. And so here and there on this cluster that I'm just kind of, you know, putting a cluster of things. All right, now, so that's that button. And maybe I'll put this, I want to put a button here. And in the center of that, no, I don't want that one. These are so pretty. These buttons, most of them are so old. I just love them. And you know, you just touch a button and that one's even got some of the thread in it from wherever it was used on a shirt or whatever, and makes you kind of wonder who wore that shirt. Who wore that shirt and where were they and what year was it? And that's what I do. I kind of almost imagine myself that maybe it was my great 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 grandfather, although it wasn't, I'm sure. Oh Lord. But it's an old button. I just love old things. Now I put that right in the center of that button right in the center of that little puff, that little yo-yo. I think I want to see if I can put these yellow beads. I took apart a necklace that I had, because it had all these beads in there. And so I took the necklace apart, although because the necklace was pretty and I would wear it, but then I thought, but no, I want these, so I took it apart. And so, but I take these yellow ones right here. Will they go through this needle? No, the needle won't go through those yellow beads. Nope, so them aren't going to work. So what if I just take a couple of these little pearl beads? Because they'll go through this needle. Or the needle will go through them. Yeah, for those beads, I guess I put them back in this bag here. Because I don't want them to roll in the floor. Yeah, and they've all got small holes like that. Okay, so I'm just going to put those, a couple of those little pearly beads, or I always put odd numbers, so I'll put 3 probably, just outside the button. And I stitch each one on individually, and then I'll put them, I won't put them in a row, I'll put them like in a cluster, like in a triangle almost there. And that's pretty. And so see then by just adding those buttons already, what a difference that already made. And it's pretty. I think it's very pretty. And so you can find nearby anything, just stitch something onto your little patch. And especially if you're doing something small, don't, you know, like I say, don't worry a whole lot about color coordinating. I did a little bit of color coordinating, but very little, just because I got pink in 3 places. But then I got this lavender over here, and then I got that yellow there, and but then I got some of the vintage cream colors and stuff, which that would be pretty if it was all vintagey colors too. And I might do one like that too. But this one, yep, we got color in it. Look at there, that's the back of the button. And that's the front of the button. And it looks like it's what's that shell stuff, you know. I'm going to let that back of that button show. Because that back of that button, to me, looks like it's got more character in it. More character. You know what I think I might do, too? Just a second. I'm going to see, get another stitch in that button right there. And okay, now I have this piece here, and I think I'm going to add one more button. I got that little piece of that eyelash trim stuff. I think I'm going to put that right there, and then, yeah, and then sew the button. That's another one of those. It looks almost like pearl. But as I sew the button, I'm going to let that little piece of trim just stay underneath it. That's pretty. It gives it a little fuzzy there. and I think that looks pretty. So it makes um, that little art piece really artful. And call your pieces art because it is art and you are the artist. You creating these things, you are the artist. See how pretty that now looks? Now, by putting that little thread under the button, that's pretty. Okay, now I want to just get that thread to come up right here. Right here, I have this little bit of this trim that is leaves, and it's like in a knot. Why are you in a knot, leaves? Knots aren't supposed to get in leaves. Okay, let's see. I can undo that a wee bit, and so I can see, huh, now. Now if I take those leaves and I let those leaves kind of just wander, let me see where they want to go. Okay, they're heading upward here. So I'm going to just get it started right here. Oh, you know what? I probably, no, I'll just, whatever. I'm going to use that blue thread. Fine, it's fine. Why not? Okay, there. And I'm just going to put like a running stitch down the center of the leaf stem there. I won't cut it off yet. I don't know how much I'm going to need because I don't know where it's going to go. And so then I'm just going to let these leaves I like these leaves. I think I have some that are green too somewhere. Look at that. I'll let them go right across that lavender circle that I just put there with that felt. Oh, see, I went way up there with that stem, with my thread. I'm just that stitch is about an inch and a half long. What am I thinking? Well, that's just the thought. You're not supposed to be thinking. You're supposed to be doing. But I'm kind of almost basting this down because I think I want to go with some French knots with some green maybe, and maybe I should have ironed this first. Nah, it's not like I'm taking it to an art show. You just go right down. It's going to go right over that ring. Can you see what I'm doing? I think I was pulling it too close to myself because I'm like that. Okay, so going right over the ring now with that. See, no planning needed. I think I'm getting close to having enough on this piece to be able to call it finished. Almost. And now I'm running out of thread on the needle, so I guess that's telling me that I've went far enough with these leaves. Okay, so I'll cut that. My little nippers instead of these big old long gingers. So then I'm just going to tie that in a knot to kind of hold it there. Sometimes I don't have enough thread to even tie it in a knot in the behind, and so I'll go behind it with just a little tiny spot of glue, of like that fray glue, fabric fray stuff. Okay, I'm going to cut that now right here. There we go. Save that for something different. And now I like this a lot. I don't even know which is the top or which is the bottom or which is whatever. It doesn't matter. And so I think what I'd like to do now, because see the green I have there in that ring, then I think what would be cool as a cucumber is to use the green, the same color green, and do a few French knots here and there. There we go. And so, what 36, 39, 37 minutes I've been on here. You all never have to watch these whole things. Don't think you have to. If you're still on here right now, well then, God bless you, you know. So now if I just go here and there with a few French knots on here, just to get a little bit more of this green throughout, for some odd reason. I don't know why, because my purple, my lavender is just all by itself. And then I stitch with blue thread on them buttons. And yeah, like I say, we don't have to go get all that matchy stuff going on. You just follow your heart, follow your spirit, just whatever. And you'll say, ooh, that's pretty, I'll put that on there. You know, that's kind of thing. Wait a minute. Got my thread combingulated down here. I gotta uncombingulate it. Well, it's in a knot. So we're not going to worry about that. I'll cut it off later. I don't know how I got it in a knot, but knowing the way I do things, I picked up the needle that didn't have any thread on it. Am I weird or what? Okay. See how perfect I am? I think I'll put my scuba gear on today and go scrape the barnacles off my yacht. Now see if I can cut this here piece of thread off that I don't know how it got there like that. But yeah. And let's put one more there. Now I could go up this vine of leaves here too. And put a French knot there. And then another one up a little further. took me forever to learn to do these French knots. I just could not do them. And so now that I figured out how to do them, I just make gobs of them. Just a bunch of gobs. Come on, go through that leaf, little needle. Thank you. And like when you're doing stitches, there's a stitch that they just call a seat stitch. And all it is a stitch. They don't have to go in the same direction or anything. And those are easy. Those are just easy and so pretty when you get a cluster of seed stitches going. So just keep on keeping on. Just make things as you go. And just stitch your threads in and out of the fabrics. It doesn't have to be any perfect stitch. It doesn't have to be an embroidery stitch at all, but if you know embroidery stitches, well, by all means, put those on there with them. But you do not have to have any kind of a professional stitch or a professional kind of thread or a professional kind of, just scraps of fabric. Nothing, that you're not going to. Even if you brought this to the county fair, you'd probably win something. So, I don't know. I don't know. So, 7:49, Hubster Street. Yeah, I got some plans of taking some of my things out of this here room today. Because I got too much in here. I can't find my way around even. Ooh, I'll go right there in the middle too and put one right here. Inside that ring. So the reason how I got even the idea to do those covered up rings is when I was trying to learn to do the Dorset buttons, which I kind of sort of figured out how to do the Dorset buttons. But then I thought, wow, I can just cover them buttons right on the fabric. Them rings. And so there I went with my bad self and did it. Because I do not follow directions. I know. I drive south on the north lane when I was driving. I only did it once. And then had to drive across the median to get to my right lane. I don't follow directions. I'm serious. Whenever I had to quit driving, I don't know, I might have been about, well, I don't know when I quit working first. Once I quit working, once I retired, well, I had to kind of take an early retirement because of something. Poor behavior, not really, because of old age. It's old before my time. And so once I retired, I quit driving too. I figure I'm retiring from everything. If I'm not allowed to work no more, I ain't driving either. So, but, which was a good thing because I was finding myself going through red lights. I go into these panic attacks. And seriously going through red lights because I couldn't remember if the red meant which color meant stop. Yeah, it wasn't good. I said, I think I'm not going to drive anymore. And I don't. And I don't miss it at all. Don't miss it at all. So, and that's a true story. I really like to have these panic attacks, and I get to a light and have a panic attack. Just drive right through. Somebody was looking out for me because I could have been in some horrible situations, but I never started driving till I was late in life anyway. I don't know, mid-30s or something. I don't remember. But I didn't drive a whole lot. I never did like driving, and I was always scared I was going to hurt somebody. I know I'm going to get in a wreck and hurt somebody. But anyway, Now, see that? How pretty that is? You know, I wonder if I were to, where is that pink ink? Pink ink. There's the green ink. I don't want the green ink. I want, oh, there it is. And take this little brush. And then when, oh, turn this iron off. I just heard it click. That means it's still on. Okay, off. Now, I wonder if I just kind of go around the edge, sort of. And kind of just color the edge. It's like I'm putting lipstick on it, right? Look, I didn't even cut the selvage edge off of this. Just about anything you can do with paper, you can do with thread. I mean, with fabric. I'm thinking that just by putting a little ink around, that maybe that will just, oh yeah, that does make a difference, doesn't it? It kind of just frames it, see? It kind of framed it a little with putting that ink around the pink. But I need to have a word. Now, where's my words? My words. I got words. My words. Ooh. Hope. Yep, hope is going to be it. As we always need hope. Okay, I'm pulling some of the threads just to make it a little bit more frayed looking. And then you see, I think I actually want to cut this a little shorter right here to fit in that spot. And just fray it again here. Come on, come off, thread. Need a little fraying going on here. There we go. Now, yeah, then that fits a little bit better right down here. And then to attach that, I'll just go again with some of this green. And I'm just going to put a couple of French knots to attach that. Or I could put a button. Would I want to put a button down here? Yeah. Yeah. That needle. Was this? Oh no, here it is. I throw my things instead of just setting things down gently. I throw them, and then who knows where they land. I need this little one to get through the button. There we go. Okay, now let's see. I'm going to put that button here with this green thread. That button will hold that the word down for me. Hope. I just love words. And then I'm going to go right over here on this side with with a French knot to hold this side of my word down. Now, love it, okay? To me, that's fine. So now, page 3. I still might go around on these with something. I don't know. Maybe not, though, but maybe I will. Scoop this here so I could even put it on. I could even put that on a little bit diagonal so that this kind of shows on that page. It can be on there diagonally. Well, no, I'll put it like this, just scoot it down a little bit. And then I will, again, I'm going to get a knot here, and I'm going to attach that to the page again, just with a stitch. And we'll make the stitch into a French knot. There. Now that made it, I had that doubled the thread, so it made a bigger French knot. So if you double your thread, you can get a big French knot. Okay, see? So then I will make another one over here. Look at that. I think that's just Jim Dandy. And you know what I'm going to do right here? I'm just going to go right here to the middle of the center down here. Pull that thread through there. And then cut it off the needle. Whoopsie. Where'd that needle go? And tie it in a knot. And let that thread just stay there. Be part of the beauty of it. And there I've got page 1, page 2, page 3. Isn't that pretty? I think it's pretty. I think it's very pretty. Now then. Well, count yourself lucky. Oh, here it is. Because it's Sunday, I'm going to find a hymn to sing. Now this is where you can turn it off, and I don't mind. Okay, let's see. Oh, He Leadeth Me. Okay, that's what I'm going to sing. Because it's Sunday. It is Sunday, right? Okay. All right. He leadeth me. O blessed thought, O words with heavenly comfort fraught, whate'er I do, where'er I be, still 'tis God's hand that leadeth me. He leadeth me, he leadeth me, by his own hand he leadeth me. His faithful follower I would be, for by his hand he leadeth me. And when my task on earth is done, when by thy grace thy victory's won, even death's cold wave I will not flee, since God through Jordan leadeth me. He leadeth me, he leadeth me, by his own hand he leadeth me. His faithful follower I would be, for by his hand he leadeth me. I only give you the first and the last verse, so I save your life there. But here, when my task on earth is done, that's my brother. He's finished his task 1 week ago yesterday on earth, and now he's busy, very busy being an angel. This song was written by Joseph Gilmore in 1862. Can you imagine how many people have sang that song? Okay, I ask God to watch over you every step you take, every move you make, keep you safe, keep you happy, and happy Sunday. Have a really, really good day, and God bless you, and I'll see you on the next video. God bless.